Hi there, and thank you for joining the Paula Fiscalshow. My show airs on Sundays at 3 o'clock p.m. on Channel 29 and is rerun on Channel 76. We also upload all the shows to YouTube, and we have a Facebook page, the Paula Fiscalshow. If you have an idea or if you would like us to discuss a particular topic, feel free to post us a message on the Facebook page. For today, we have our very special guest, Chef Sharon Lee, who is a regular on my show. The topic for today is comfort food. Now, I see visions of pizza floating around everyone's head. Okay, over there I take a look and I see visions of mac and cheese. And then there's someone over there who says their favorite comfort food is a chocolate bar. So we're going to go ahead and get started with the origins of comfort foods and welcome Chef Sharon Lee. Chef Lee, I know that you have stories to tell about comfort foods in your culture as I do in mine. In my culture, during the Christmas season, we have to see a big old pile of tamales like this around New Year's Eve, and that's comfort food. Right. But generally speaking, comfort food for us as Latinos, we have the rice and the beans, and that's almost always served with every dish. Right. How about in your culture? What do you have as a comfort food?
We celebrate the New Year with black eyed peas, for good luck, collard greens. They have yams. One of the traditional dishes that originated in the South was chitterlings, and they do a fried chicken and potato salad.
Well, in my culture too, we have the famous Paula Fiscal potato salad. I used to be very well known for making the potato salad. But I think really what it is that in certain cultures and certain families, we have different types of comfort foods. I know in my husband's comfort food arena, their favorite food, or one of the favorite foods, are a pasta salad, which is an elbow macaroni with Italian seasoning and onions and some of that bay salt with a bit of mayonnaise. But it reminds people of their father, their mother, their family gatherings.
Right.
So would you say that the comfort food actually then generates from an emotional feeling regarding the food intake?
My intake on comfort foods too was based on the fact that what people could afford to eat at certain times in history. That brought about comfort food, which was affordable for families to eat.
Good point to make, yes. What could one afford?
Most of the time, they usually could afford a protein. At the time, could be beef, pork, or chicken. And they would grow out of their gardens tomatoes, collard greens, various vegetables. They would grow string beans and things of that nature that were able to feed small or large families during that time. Potatoes, biscuits, they made their own biscuits and things of that nature. They were very much crafty as far as designing meals for their families according to their incomes and what they could afford to do.
So would you say that the term comfort food then is totally a personal item? And it changes with our culture, yes, there is an influence there.
Yes.
But how about now, say, comfort food for people might be a smoothie, it might be a vegan vegetable, or it might be a quinoa.
Right.
Because there's a lot of different foods that are popular among the quote-unquote healthy people. So let's talk a little bit about those foods. We've had a show here with the chef on kale, which is very popular right now,
Right.
especially in California. We have a tendency to eat healthier, and we are also influenced by what our friends are eating. So it's a lot of family. What we grew up with is one thing, but when we introduce other factors into the whole eating equation,
Right.
for the restaurants here, for example, you can eat just about any kind of food you want.
Right.
And
exactly.
speaking of restaurants, let's talk a little bit about the Clooney's Pub on 25th of Valencia, where you are currently the chef in-house, and you serve breakfast on Sundays from 9:30 to 5, and on Mondays and Tuesdays and Fridays,
Yes.
you're open from 11 to 7. Open from 11.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about what kind of menu you serve there that might be considered comfort foods.
Well, I work, I create the menus, change daily, and I create according to what I know that they would like. So some of those dishes could be smothered steak, rice, gravy, a vegetable. It could be Brussels sprouts, grilled Brussels sprouts with a Caesar salad. One of the other meals that I like to create there that they like is corned beef and cabbage, because it's an Irish pub per se, that we have a great large clientele of Irish descents that come there, 5th generation.
Well, with the name like Clooney's, I can see why. and so, but you also have specialty items. I know during the Thanksgiving season you serve turkey, and I was there during that time. And you had a fabulous spaghetti and meatball dish.
Yes, yes.
and so, but then I've seen also people fighting over your peach cobbler there.
Oh yes, the peach cobbler is very much one of the specialty items that I do prepare, and I have lately decided to work with pecans in the peach cobbler as well. I do a specialty of deep fried turkey during the holidays, and make a specialty dressing, a sausage dressing actually that I've created. Those are some of the things that I like to make at the Clooney's.
So for today, you brought us a special pasta salad. Can you talk about pasta for a moment?
Okay, so the pasta salad today that I created, I made one of my specialty dishes that I really like to make, and it has a lot of the fresh ingredients in it, as far as column olives, cucumbers, organic cherry tomatoes.
And those nice tomatoes are yellow today.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a yellow and a red tomato?
What's the difference between it? It's just the way that it's like
grown.
It's grown.
Different.
It's
and
grown. It's the seeding.
And some people are allergic to red tomatoes, but they can eat the yellow tomatoes. That's what I understood.
They can eat various tomatoes.
Yes.
It's probably because of the fact of how it's grown.
Exactly, exactly. So this pasta salad is totally vegetarian.
Totally vegetarian.
It has no cheese in it. Does it have anything that's considered dairy?
Well, this particular, most of the time, you can make it without cheese.
Right.
But this one was made with shaved Parmesan cheese.
Oh, a little Parmesan. Okay.
Shaved Parmesan.
Shaved Parmesan.
Shaved Parmesan. But I do make it without a Parmesan cheese.
So then it could be strictly vegetarian.
It could be strictly vegetarian.
And a pasta salad like this, you could serve by yourself?
I can serve it by itself. We can have it with a French bread, garlic bread, even with crackers if you prefer, or flatbread cracker, to add to it.
It is a comfort food, though,
Yes.
And it brings up emotions of your family, events.
Pasta salad I would say it's like a family-oriented family. It's like a get-together. Most people like the pasta salad, you know, because of the variety, because of the colors. This is a tri-colored bow tie pasta. You can make it with the regular bow tie pasta as well. It's because of the different crunchies and the textures of it. The dressing that's made for it brings it very much alive. And
So it's a vinegar and oil dressing, is it?
yes, it's a
Okay.
vinaigrette or Italian vinaigrette dressing, and it's quite a tasty and delightful salad.
It is. Oh,
Yes.
good. We're looking forward to tasting it. We also have had on this show your famous kale salads,
Yes.
which are also a hit when I used them in my family event. It
Oh,
was
yes.
very well received, and everybody wanted the recipe. So, speaking of recipes, you all, if you are interested in getting the recipe for any of the foods that we talk about on this show, you should just go ahead and take a look at the Facebook page for the Paula Fiscal Show and send me a message, and I'll be happy to forward it to Chef Lee. So let us go back again now to the comfort foods. If you have a comfort food recipe that you'd like us to talk about on this show, again, email me at paualfiscalshow@gmail.com. Now let's talk a little bit more about the pasta salad and how long do you preserve it before you serve it. Sometimes a lot of salads you have to make them like the night before for the
Yes.
ingredients to blend or meld and then serve it the next day. What about this pasta salad? How does that work?
The pasta salad is not. I would advise you that you can make it a day before, to let all the seasonings blend, you know, and settle down. Especially if you're using fresh herbs like basil in it. Italian seasonings, if you want to put in it, you can. It's just a matter of all the flavors marrying each other to turn out to be such a fine, delightful salad.
And so what are you using as the base? What does it have? It just has vinegar and oil in it? It doesn't have any other dressing in it?
No, it's a very light vinegar and oil dressing. I would recommend. I
So
would not,
for those
nothing
people-
else. You can change it. You can use other different types of dressings. You can change it into another type of a salad. But from my experience, and just because to show the colors off and the things of this nature, I'd rather use a vinaigrette.
So is the asparagus then routinely used for a garnish, or is it cut up and put in the salad? How is that?
You can blanch it. You can grill it. You can cut it up and put it in your salad. I'm using it today as a garnish
Yes, yeah, and it's
for
a
decoration.
and it is a very good-looking bow tie salad, and we want to also give you a chance to talk about some of the other menu items that you're sharing with the neighborhood over there at 25th and Valencia. What do you typically serve on Sundays, for example?
Sundays, I start out with a shrimp and grits breakfast. I have created a egg white spinach omelet with mushrooms and Swiss cheese. I also have biscuits and gravy. I do corned beef hash and scrambled egg with fresh fruit. And then on the dinner, I may have lamb shanks, mashed potatoes, string beans, a nice salad, maybe coleslaw, a little cornbread, and then I bake either German chocolate cake to go with it for dessert, if you would like a dessert.
Now, and now that you have everybody's mouth watering about the foods that you make and the cuisine that you prepare, and tell us a little bit about how you have started with this business, and you do catering for large corporate events, also for weddings, for birthdays.
Yes, I started my business when I was in culinary school. I went to the California Culinary Academy. I'm a graduate 2004. I've been in the industry running my business for the last 15 years. I cater corporate events, small venues, and weddings as well.
And the Black Rodeo.
The
Let's
Black
talk
Rodeo
about the
is
rodeo.
a wonderful, wonderful event that I am working to have as a hub for children to train, to learn how to run a business and become young entrepreneurs in this world.
And that's the Verlaine Iris Culinary Academy.
That's the Verlaine Iris Culinary Academy, correct.
And you also have your annual Crab Fest. We have to talk about that.
Yes, the annual crab feed will be this next year, 2019. We will have it after the beginning of the year. Crab season opens in November. So we're working on the crab feed for early 2019, January.
And you traditionally celebrate your birthday at large public events. Let's talk about that, the event coming up.
Yes, this year I am having a Family and Friends Day at Lake Merritt, right there as you get off the freeway, off of Grand Avenue, and it crosses at Lakeshore. And it's kid friendly. I'm the chef for the day. I'm cooking all the food. I'm going to have a fresh fish fry out. Deep fried turkey will be fried out there. All kinds of different types of proteins, from brisket to ribs to links to chicken, and some of my specialty dishes. And I'll have a salad roll out there, and karaoke. Just a fun-filled day for family and friends to get together to celebrate life. And kids are welcome. Please bring kids out. We will be there waiting for you.
And of course, you have to remember that this is going to be in September of 2018. So this show is rerun quite a bit. So we want to make sure that people know. How can they reach you if they'd like to attend?
You can call me at 415-517-2851. That is my number that I can be reached at.
And you also have a Facebook page. You want to tell them what
my
the name of that?
Facebook page is Sharon Lee at Facebook, and my business name is The Spot for Fine Catering Services as well.
And so we won't ask you how old you're going to be, but you have been doing the annual birthday events quite regularly since I've met you. And where were some of the other venues that you had your birthday parties?
I've had my other parties at the West Bay in San Francisco on Fillmore, in the heart of Fillmore, the Jazz District as they call it these days. And I've had events at the Green Room, the African Cultural Center on Fulton Street. So I have been having different events at these different type venues around the city.
Well, let's go back to talking about the pasta. I see you downloaded some information about pasta. Let's share with our viewers something that you may have learned that you didn't know about.
Okay, well, pasta, it's originated from Italy, and it's made out of durum and a wheat that you can make in a home with flour and egg, and it's like a well. That's making fresh pasta. The pasta we buy in the store is dried pasta.
That's right. So there's a big difference.
It's a big difference
between the dry and the fresh. And also the pastas that you can make them from different ingredients. Such
yes. You can make it from chickpea, rye, wheat, various types of flours that they provide you with these days due to people that have allergies and health conditions that allows, that they can still get what they like, pasta, but it's cooked where they can eat it and, not get sick.
Yes, and I've seen pastas that they make them out of spinach and also rye. But what about the soba, the Japanese pastas? Mm-hmm. Those are made from buckwheat normally.
Oh, okay.
Although if you read the ingredients, you have to be careful because some of them do add the wheat with the buckwheat.
The thing is, I recommend to people is that read all of your labels, because of some things that are made these days are made with nuts and various things that they incorporate in ingredients that might not be natural for you to eat and cause you to become ill or have a reaction to the food itself.
So it's all about reading the labels, of course, and
ingredients.
And the ingredients. So do you recommend that people learn how to make their own pasta, and we use fresh pasta?
Fresh pasta, I would recommend that if you have the time, you know, and invest in the machines. They're not really that expensive, you know, but it's fun. It's a family, could be a family project where everybody can have their partake into creating a dish for the family. You know, it could be done that way. Or if it's something personally that you want to experience yourself and do, I would recommend that.
And that would be the homemade pasta group of people that would want to do that to have their pasta be really fresh. Now, I know that when you go, for example, to the grocery stores, the pastas that are fresh are in the refrigerator. And they have, for example, at the Rainbow grocery store, they have a big display of pastas, but they're very, very expensive. At least I think that they're expensive. You're spending, you know, $12 on homemade linguine, but is that then when you take it home and you taste it, you see why there's a considerable difference in the dry to the fresh. Is there anything we can do to the dry pasta that we get to make it taste a little fresher?
No,
just asking you for a couple of hints here now from a chef's perspective.
Well, no, the thing with dry pasta is it's just a matter of you knowing the proper time and minutes of how to cook it. Pasta is easy to overcook, and if you leave it in water, it will swell to the point that is not even, to me, edible. So, you know, cooking it to the proper time, you know, for what we call al dente, as far as pasta goes, meaning very firm, very textured and done. I would recommend that you put it in a ice bath to cool down temperature, because sometimes when you're cooking pasta and you do not cool it down properly, it still cooks. And so you need to shock it into the fact that it stays al dente. And you know, when you get ready to serve it, that you are very satisfied with the turnout of how your pasta turned out.
And some people recommend putting, adding salt to the water. Do you recommend that?
I recommend that. I recommend adding salt. It's like a sea salt.
For those of you that are interested in reaching the chef's going to give us her phone number again, particularly if you're planning on joining in on her birthday event.
Yes, my name is Chef Sharon Lee. You can reach me at 415-517-2851, and the birthday event is September 8th from 10 to 6 p.m.
Thank you so much for joining us, the Paula Fiscal Show, and remember to stay informed. You may also log into YouTube and you'll see all of the shows that I have on with the chef and some of my other guests. And if you have an idea or want to discuss your comfort food on this show, email me at paualfiscalshow@gmail.com. We want to thank our sponsors, Rosalie Jacques from Gypsy Rosalie's Wigs and Vintage, and we also have a sponsorship from SirenSF.com. Lisa has 3 boutiques, one in the Hayes Valley, one in Chestnut, and one newly in West Portal. Also, we want to thank the Curtin Pacific Institute for sponsoring this show, and San Francisco Investment Development for doing the editing. Once again, thank you so much for joining us, and stay informed.